Demonica, he returned them no hassle. Like, he didn't ask any questions. He was totally fine. He believed me. He didn't say no, we can't accept, or he was fine with it. And I had even told him that John Doe doesn't have the one back foot that holds him up, or the toe tag, because honestly, my first John Doe that came didn't even come with the back foot for the base, and he was just like, "Oh, that's fine." And honestly, I accidentally broke my first Gravedigger's base, or no, not base. I accidentally snapped my first Gravedigger's arm when I tried to put it back in the box because I tried posing it and it snapped. And I don't remember if I told him that, but I did tell him. He took it out of the box to look at it, and you could clearly see that the arm was snapped, and he was like, he didn't care. And it's funny because the same thing happened with the 2011, or not the same thing, but we returned my first 2011 Demonica, the one that was kind of half bald on one side, because the belt in her head was already starting to get bad. It was sometimes not turning very well. So I returned it, got another one. My new one looked so much different than the other one, and I wasn't happy with the fact that it looked so much different. So I cried and called my grandma and said I want the other one back too. So she went back to the store and bought the one we returned. And it started working fine. Actually, that one lasted longer than the second one I bought, because that's the one I still have now. The other one has been just a body since 2014. Before that, actually 2013. That's when I started disassembling that thing, because that one had board problems and the head stopped turning on that one. So that one actually broke first, the second one. My first one lasted until about 2014. That's when the head really started to stop turning. And then I fixed it in 2018, but now it started having problems again, and now it just turns its head. But still, it lasted so much longer. So it's kind of a good thing I got the first one back. Because honestly, the second one started giving out within... The first one started... Or the second one started giving out within a year. Because at one point I had the body swapped. I had the first body on the second one's base, and the second one's body on the first one's base. But then I swapped them out so that one would fully work and the other wouldn't. Yeah, because once my second one's body's head stopped turning, it would only rise up and down. So then I put that on the one that didn't go down. Anyways, I guess that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make a random talking Spirit Halloween experience kind of video. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Comment and we'll see. Alright. Oh my god, I also forgot. Like, literally, I hope this year they have some cool themes at Spirit Halloween. Like, ones that actually make sense with the animatronics. Like, last year's themes was cool. Like, when the flagship location first opened and I watched those videos, I was excited. I thought they were really cool, because the store was dark and the spotlight shining on everything just looked cool. And of course, most of that stuff in those videos ended up being obviously the prototypes and not the produced ones, which looked kind of cool. But as the year went on, more towards the end, I started to realize how it didn't make any sense at all. It's a ship. It's a pirate ship. Well, maybe not technically a pirate ship, but it's a ship that has scarecrows, dogs, Pennywise, Sam, a Reaper, a Spider, a Cocoon Corp. And a dragon. For, like, none of it makes sense. Like, it's so much mixture. There's no theme to it. Literally, the theme is the ship, but none of the characters are themed for that theme. One of my coworkers literally said the only one on that theme that makes sense is Tortured Torso. The rest just make no sense whatsoever. And then the aquarium was cool, but again, a lot of mixed characters that don't really make sense. But it's more of... The aquarium was more of the inside, and those were just kind of... So that one didn't really matter. That one was really just a random theme, so that one didn't matter. But the ship was... I hope they do something cool. Like, I hope they do something kind of classical again. Like, because back then, the themes used to make sense. There was a cemetery or a graveyard, and then there was a horror theme for the licensed characters. There was a circus with the clowns and stuff. I mean, it was actually themed well around. There was still a few themes every year that didn't make sense to some themes, but literally this year, none of the animatronics made sense for the themes. Although I know people say this every year, and trust me, I always see it, and I'm like, no, it's not going to be a circus or a clown theme. But, however, it has now been 10 years since 2010 when they did the last circus theme, and people say this every year that they said it in 2018, 2017, 2019 that Uncle Charlie is returning, but it never actually happened. But I can see it happening this year because it is the 10-year anniversary after all, and people have been asking forever. So Spirit's probably going to just finally be like, oh, fine. I mean, some people think Uncle Charlie is underrated. Some people think he's overrated. Some people just think it's stupid that people are so obsessive because all he did was turn his head constantly and had four phrases that and the sound quality was terrible. If they bring it back, it'll be good this time, like the Limb Ripper that they returned. But still, it was just so basic. But the thing is, he's so nostalgic and rememberable. Like Uncle Charlie is basically the clown face of Spirit Halloween because that's the first clown. When people think about clowns at Spirit Halloween, people from back then, the first one they think about is Uncle Charlie. They don't really think about clowns that Spirit had before that or after that. It's like whenever people think about clowns at Spirit Halloween, they always think about Uncle Charlie and I guess Wacky Mole. Though those two are basically the most thought about clowns from the past. But either way, they're probably gonna do. I don't know. I can't say they're gonna do a circus or clown theme though, because they always put clowns in their stores now. There's been a clown every year now. I mean, the only year they didn't do a clown was like 2014, and even 2015. Well, there was Chester the Jester, but he was online only. And then 2016 was pretty lame with clowns. They just had two that weren't even really good clowns. They started with the clowns again in like 2017 with the Towering Clown, but besides that, there was a long pause without clowns, but now that's all they almost think about is clowns. Like even seasonal visions, that's almost all they do is clowns. Like there's always these new clowns coming out, and they're cool. Back then, clowns used to be a rare animatronic. Like there was only a few back then. Like even in 2013 when they had that theme with clowns, there wasn't that many. You could easily collect them all. But now it's just there's too many that you can't collect them all. And I think now Grouchy is the newest, most popular clown that they're going to have for a while now. In my opinion, Grouchy is the newer, more recent version of Uncle Charlie. Like he's just as popular now as or he's basically, but he's so demonic. Like I'm not saying they're the same at all because they're not. What I'm saying is basically now Grouchy is in the place where Uncle Charlie was. I think he's going to be one of the most memorable clowns. He's going to be the one that people remember out of all the out of Hugs and Towering Clown. I feel like Grouchy's going to be the because he's just so different. He's so demonic and he's huge. Everyone remembers Uncle Charlie. Well, unless obviously there was a bunch of kids that weren't even born yet during that time that don't know, but still. That's another weird thing is that there's so much kids back then that never even got to see those days at Spirit, and they'll never experience them. They'll look back at 2019 videos saying, "Oh my God, that was my first time. I was so scared." But we say the same thing about the older days. Oh yeah, it is also a good thing Grouchy is coming back this year because Lucas's dad actually really wanted that one last year, but we were never able to get it because it's always sold out, and he didn't want the display because Lucas's dad really wanted it last year, but our store display, like he didn't want to buy the store display because our store display, it it started having issues right away where sometimes the body would get stuck and I would have to tug on its hand to get it to start moving again. And not only that, it had actually fallen off of the display and the welding got bent so it would only stand if you put like a really heavy brick on it. It did end up selling and the person that got it, the shoulder welding was broken and they came back to the store like, yeah, we got that big clown and its shoulders are like weird. It moves but it doesn't move right because they're disconnected and we weren't allowing any animatronic returns anymore at that time and we didn't have any more and I did recommend them to go to Dr. Zombie to see if they I guess probably said they didn't have parts for it. What my assistant manager did was give them some JB Weld or whatever That's what actually what she used on the collector. We had a collector that was snapped as well, and she used that to fix that collector. So she gave him the rest, what was left of that JB Weld, and well, hopefully it worked. But yeah, anyways, so we'll be able to get Grouchy this year then, because Lucas's dad really wanted that, like really bad. He every time he came to the store, like he just loved that theme. But anyways, hopefully this year the theme won't be something so random. I mean, what's next? Like a circus theme with pirates in it, since we had a pirate ship with clowns in it last year.